Thank you. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I'm pleased to be able to make a contribution to this very important debate and to follow the Honourable Member for Ribble Valley. And I also want to thank the Honourable Member for Dudley South for securing this debate. Now, I am particularly interested in this subject for several reasons. As a constituency MP with a medium-sized family-run brewery in my constituency, John Willie Lees, which provides employment for around 1,100 people, owns 140 pubs across the North West and North Wales, and is a major contributor to our local economy. And also, my interest is as the daughter of a landlady. My mother ran the Owen Glendower pub in Corwin, North Wales, during the 1980s, and then she was allowed to return home to the Duke of York in Hayside, Oldham, both John Willie Lees pubs. And there I spent many hours, most of them happy, helping out with bar work in the evenings and at weekends. I certainly will.
Thank the Honourable Lady for giving way, because you've just reminded me of something. I've been to the Owen Glendower pub in Corwin when I was working at Theatre Clwyd over the way. But as an actor who had toured the country for the best part of 50 years, and I visited probably everybody's constituency, apart from perhaps the Honourable Member for Caithness, but I've visited many taverns in many towns, and much to my wife's surprise, people know me by name. But the tragedy is when you revisit a place, and we know that at some period of time there were some 50 pubs a week closing, and you revisit a place and you find that the heart of the community has been torn out because the pub has closed. In my own constituency, in the constituency of Kirby, Lasoken, 2 of the pubs are closing and they're now reopened. Should we not celebrate the fact that some publicans are being innovative and creating new business, and we should support them by taxation? I thank you.
I thank the honourable gentleman for that intervention, and he's absolutely right, and a lot of publicans are having to be innovative in the way that they run the pubs to keep them open. I don't know when he visited the Owen Glendower. If it was in the 1980s, I may well have served him. It could well have been me that poured your pint. Cheers. Now, as the honourable gentleman has just said, pubs are at the heart of our communities. And for me, there is no greater pleasure than going down to my local on a Sunday evening. That's my night off from politics. I try. Fending off all the queries about Brexit and what on earth we are all doing in this place, as well as giving the landlord a sympathetic ear to his often expressed concerns about business rates and about the future of his pub. And the facts are simple. Pubs are closing at a rate of 2 to 3 per day. Our high streets are already struggling from the effects of bank branch closures, post office closures, and the rise of online shopping. And this is just piling on the problems in the face, I'm afraid, of this government's increasingly incoherent policy on the future of our high streets. Pubs are being taxed left, right and centre, with duty, business rates and employment taxes, as well as full VAT at 20%, whilst people are shopping online, staying at home and not coming out to socialise with others. This is not good for society, and a healthy pub is the heartbeat of its community. The Campaign for Real Ale is calling for a fundamental review of the tax system to stem the tide of pub closures. And CAMRA welcomes the government's business rate relief introduced in the 2017 budget, but said recently, just this month, that more action was needed to ensure the survival of the remaining 50,000 pubs. And I'm pleased that the Treasury is reviewing small brewers relief, which honourable members have already referred to. I look forward to hearing the results of the consultation, which closed on the 17th of March this year. And whilst small brewers relief has been helpful in the start-up of many new microbreweries, it has also meant a reduction of 1/3 of brewers like John Willie Lees in my constituency, who are squeezed between the large international brewers with huge economies of scale and smaller brewers who benefit from a beneficial duty rate. And we've already mentioned business rates do not help, and this is closing many pubs due to high costs.
Would the honourable member give way?
Certainly.
Thank you. I thank the honourable member for giving way. Do you think that it would be good if the microbrewers could agree with the family brewers a proposal for a new structure of duty relief which would have weight with the Treasury? SEBA were in contact with the family brewers last year and the talks broke down. Do you agree that if the industry could agree a scheme, that would have considerable weight?
I thank my honourable friend for that intervention, and I think that is a very sensible suggestion. I hope he's maybe fed that into the consultation. As I said, I am looking forward to hearing the results of the consultation, but I don't want to set up the small brewers against the medium-sized brewers, but I do think that we need to find a solution to this issue. Now, we've already heard from CAMRA and the British Beer and Pub Association that for every £3 spent in the pub, £1 of that goes straight back to the taxman. The beer duty freezes in 2017 and 2018 were a welcome measure after the damaging 3.9% increase in March of 2017. But British beer remains overtaxed. Britons pay nearly 40% of all beer duty paid in the EU nations, but we only consume 12% of the beer. The beer duty rate in Germany is 12 times lower than the UK rate. So a modest cut in beer duty in the next budget would create thousands of additional jobs and help ensure the sustainable future of our surviving pubs. And this has been supported by over 115,000 people who have signed the recent Long Live the Local campaign. And finally, I just want to finish with a point that was made by the honourable member for Ribble Valley as well, that if the government were to increase the threshold for lower strength beer to qualify for duty relief from 2.8% to 3.5%, that this would stimulate further investment in lower alcohol products and increase the range of low and no alcohol alternatives available to encourage healthy social drinking that our pubs, our community hearts so desperately need.